嚴情控訴，嚴情控訴，停止暴力，停止暴力，嚴情控訴，嚴情控訴，Stop Asian hate crime! Stop Asian hate crime! Stop Asian hate crime!
Okay. The polling has spoken. Thank you. We have a press conference. We are always on time. And I try not to say, I try to save time for everyone. I know you have a busy day. I would say good morning. My name is Carl Chan. I am the president of the Oakland Chinatown Chamber of Commerce. And today, thank you. Today we are here to have this press conference and to address some of these issues happening in Oakland Chinatown, but also throughout the city of Oakland. So we try to accomplish a few things. And before I do, I have many special guests here today. And definitely I want to acknowledge my good friend here, Lauren Taylor, our council member. Lauren Taylor, let's give him a big hand. Thank you for joining us. And we also have our Blue Angels. They've been patrolling Oakland Chinatown for 6 months by now. And they've been doing a good work, helping us safeguarding not only our businesses, but also helping many of our seniors. And Captain Victor Kwong been there. And so I want to acknowledge and give a big hand to our Blue Angels, our volunteers. But of course, it's all about many of us, including our media. Without the media, I do not believe we have the voices that we have, advocating what we want to say and what we would like to do and how we can keep our city safe, including Oakland Chinatown. And there are a few things I want to talk and start off. I want to talk about what happened on last Saturday, the incident. And I also want to talk about the police department. I also want to talking about the contributing factors to all these incidents happening. But most importantly, we cannot just talking about problems. We should talk about the solutions. So one of the things I want to talk about would be the chamber actions and what we all can do together. And one important thing, I want to show you the letter, which I will be sending it to the Governor Newsom. But before starting that, let's go back to the original reason why we're here. So I want to talk about the Saturday incident. So many of you have seen what happened on Saturday. So there was a robbery. It's not just one of the robberies taking place. So this robbery getting more brazen, vicious. So during broad daylight on August 7th, and that day is around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And actually many of us, including myself, I was in Chinatown, I was only 1 block away. So the attackers, they came in, they were robbing this lady, and the two good Samaritans and trying to help. So one got shot twice, and the other one got pistol whipped. And definitely, he got into the hospital, but one thing I have to tell you, fortunately, he is getting much, much better. So I had the opportunity talking to him. He is in his way of recovering. Now many people are asking, is there anything we can do for this young man? I say yes. So we're doing a fundraising effort. So through the foundation, the Oakland Chinatown Chamber Foundation, for those who wish to donate, please do. So if you write a check to Oakland Chinatown Chamber Foundation, memo is Chinatown Hero. So the money will go directly to support this, young men, and they are so brave and, helping us and safeguarding Chinatown and doing what they would like to do and helping others. And also people are asking, well, there are police presence in the area. Why would this still be happening? I want you to understand one thing, common sense. If there was no police or less police presence in the area, guess what happened to Chinatown and any of the areas? It's going to be 10 times worse. So do not blame on the police. We appreciate for what they are doing, and their job is not easy and it's quite dangerous. So at this time, on behalf of the Oakland Chinatown Chamber of Commerce, on behalf of our Chinatown community, on behalf of many, many people, they do appreciate the good work for the police officers. We want to say thank you. We also want you to stay safe. We want you to also to go home like many of us, because we want you, we need you. Now, I also want to talk about what are these contributing factors. Why are these attacks, robberies, taking place in the entire city of Oakland, including Chinatown, including also many, many areas? Let's talk about the truth, what happened, okay? The number one factor, because of this defunding of police, demonizing our police does not help. And also, the budget cut is another problem. So we are all facing the same issue, which is about the defunding of the police. Besides that, we also need to recognize another factor. The factor is this: our legal system. Because when I talk to the police and people are blaming, how come you guys catch them and release them? It's not the police releasing these criminals. It's our justice system. The no bail system, or for many, many reasons, or some of the district attorneys throughout the different counties, they are releasing criminals, they're committing crimes. So let me give you some example. Many times when criminals got caught, they are committing crimes. But guess what? Sometimes in the same day, if not, maybe the next morning, many of these criminals are being released. And what does it tell us? It is telling us, not only telling us, especially telling the criminals, it's okay to commit crimes. When there are crimes with very little or no consequences, guess what? Criminals will say, let's go back onto the street and let's do more crimes because there are no consequences. So we need to change the legal system. So I have a message to those, the lawmakers, and guess what? You are one of those contributors making this happen and hurting many of us, hurting many innocent people. We need to change that. So we want to say all the facts. I know when I'm saying this, I'm not being politically correct. I don't mind. I think we need to speak the truth. So we need to fix the problem, okay? So let's be part of the solutions, not only the problem. Now, what are we going to do? So these are the things that we would like to do. We'll continue working closely with our police departments, and we're also inviting the FBI, the ATF to support us and doing what they could do. And I wrote a letter, and which is to send it to the governor. And definitely we are asking, what are we asking? We are asking to make that Governor Newsom, we want you to do this. Declare the state of emergency for City of Oakland. We want you to bring in California Highway Patrol. I'm not only asking you to patrolling Chinatown, I'm asking sending the police, the CHP to the City of Oakland. All areas, we need your help. So this is what we want. Besides the CHP, we also need you to send resources, which is to sending us the investigators. I've talked to the DA office, they're also trying to do the best job. But we need to do the investigation so that they can finalizing some of these cases, so that people will be, so they can go to court. So all these perpetrators, all these people committing crimes will go to jail. So we need to do that. In addition, the chamber, we are installing more cameras throughout Chinatown, and we'll be working with our businesses and upgrading the cameras. And the reason why we're doing that, just like what we're doing here, the press conference. And I want to thank many of this media, especially those, the camera folks working for the different stations. Without the pictures, there may not be the complete story. So that's the reason why we need to install more cameras. And we also want to provide more training. Training for the people in the Chinatown businesses, the training for those who need to help. Definitely we want people to do this. See something, say something, and doing something. But we want to do it correctly so they do not get hurt. Now, I want to share some of the things that I have with this letter to the Governor Newsom. It's a long letter. I just want to say it a bit too long. So I'm writing this letter urging the request on behalf of the people of Oakland, California, because the rush of shootings, homicides, carjackings, assaults, and robberies hold the city of Oakland hostage. Citizens live in a state of continuous fear for our safety, well-being, livelihoods, and future. So the recent actions to defund the police by a majority of the Oakland City Council member and further exacerbates the dire situation. Oakland now has become one of the most dangerous cities in the state to live. Residents feel abandoned by the city leaders, as citizens must fend for themselves due to the reduced police force. Safety and order is the first duty of government. Citizens pay taxes to the city and the state for their vital service. We urgently request that you, Governor Newsom, declare a state of emergency and deploy the California Highway Patrol and other state law enforcement officers to restore safety for citizens, businesses, and property. Last year, we had 102 homicides, the highest since 2012, when 127 lives were lost. So I just got some data. Unfortunately, when I wrote this letter was a few days ago. So the data is actually incorrect now. Because I wrote 71 homicides, it's actually 77 as of today. So there were at least 352 assaults with a firearm, which is what? 58% over 2020. And 332 shootings, actually it's a lot more by now. And a 70% increase over 2020. At least 155 shootings in an occupied home vehicle, which is a 50% increase from last year. At least 292 carjackings, which is a 99% over last year. And it's 1,552 robberies, which is at least 14%, which is still going up. I am talking about we're in July, in August. I'm talking about the year of 2021, so we are not done yet. There are many incidents happen. I just mentioned, earlier from last Saturday. Of course, we knew about the U.S. Senator Barbara Boxer, the assault, and 7 people to the hospital and with wounds, and we saw the one death at the Juneteenth celebration. So Oakland now has what? At least 6 mass shootings in less than 6 months. An entire Oakland cathedral and its priests, they were held at knife point at a Sunday morning mass. Can you believe that? Thank God they are okay. Oakland's own violence prevention chief also, the interview, and again, it was under the armed robbery. Good thing that the TV reporters, you got your own security, so you guys saved his life and many others. I want to say thank you for the media, and especially those who, I know I hate to say that you gotta have hire your own security for your own safety. So the sworn number of officers is 706, despite the funding of 792 officers. The upcoming academy will not provide enough officers to get the city anywhere needed necessary. I would say at least 1,200 police officers to protect citizens, businesses, and the neighborhoods. We implore you to use your executive powers to declare an emergency and send California Highway Patrol and state law enforcement to preserve the peace and protect the public and save lives. And people are saying who is signing it. I am signing it, but I'll tell you who else will be signing it. I have talked to our former Council Member Larry Reed. I also got Bishop Barber, and I also having Bishop Bob Jackson. And there are many community members, leaders, and religious leaders will be signing on this letter. So without delay, I'll be sending this letter to our governor, and if you want to get a copy of it, our executive director, Jessica Chen, will get you a copy of it. And at this time, I want to ask and invite my good friend here, Council Member Lauren Taylor. I met him and talked to him before he got elected, and I remember the installation when he visited Oakland Chinatown and came to the Oakland Asian Cultural Center with their 2 young children. And so basically the reason why I was here, because I know there was one business in his district got into some issue and wanted me to help. So I called Lauren, and Lauren responded right away. And when he found out what happened, he said he wants to do more for us. So at this time, I would like to invite, and I want to give a big welcome to our council member, Lauren Taylor.
Thank you, Carl. Thank you, Carl. It is my privilege to be here and stand with my Chinese and Asian American neighbors and support them in their call for greater safety, greater response to their needs. Whether in Chinatown or Deep East Oakland, our neighbors, our family members, they have a right to be safe, to walk their neighborhoods, to walk to their place of business and shop without fear of attack. And so I stand here supporting these neighbors, these Oakland residents who have come together to tell us what they need, what support they require. We must listen to the voices of those who are most impacted by the violence, the crime, as we seek to create a better, a stronger public safety system. That centering the voices of those most impacted was a foundational principle of the Reimagining Safety Task Force that I co-chair, and we must continue to hold to that. I hear the voices of Chinatown residents, those that come and look at the events like what we just had this past weekend, where our community was under attack. And I say our community because we are one Oakland. When one of us is attacked, all of us are attacked. And so yes, we had Good Samaritans who attempted to help and intervene, and they ended up wounded and in the hospital. That is unacceptable. I also hear the voices of Deep East Oakland residents through emails, phone calls, one-on-one conversations, when they tell me that the long response time for 911 is not acceptable, that it doesn't give them confidence that the system, that government will look out for them and protect them at their time of need. Those are all things that, especially as we have this increased violence and gun violence and crime, it requires us to have an adequate response and adequate investment in prevention. They are not mutually exclusive. We need both response and prevention. And so I hear the call for greater investment in response and prevention to address the root causes, but recognizing that addressing the root causes does not create an immediate solve when someone picks up the phone and dials 911 or when an incident occurs. And so that is why I am proud to be here supporting these community members who have come together, who gathered more than 3,000 signatures asking for the support of our city, of our county, of our state, and the federal government. These increases on attacks in the AAPI community, the increases in gun violence across the city and violent crime, they require us as the city elected officials to really listen to those who are calling for the help and the support. And that is why I'm here. That's why I'm grateful for the partnership with the Chinatown Chamber of Commerce. I'm grateful for the community ambassadors like the Blue Angels here, who are patrolling the streets day in and day out, and the community ambassadors that have stepped up across our city as well. It takes all of us, from the police department to our Department of Violence Prevention, our community ambassadors, responders, those who are sitting at home. We all have a responsibility and a role to play in keeping our communities safe. Thank you for the opportunity to be here and stand with you, and I look forward to continuing to fight to ensure that all of our community members are safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Lord. I really appreciate that, especially when he mentioned acknowledging that one fact. In Chinatown, we gathered over 3,000 signatures in a short few days, and saying that we want more police. And I also want you to know, I get phone calls not only from my own community in Oakland Chinatown or the Asian community. I got phone calls from all communities, black, white, Hispanic, almost you name them. They call me, and I said, and they know what? I'm so surprised. They're saying that they told me, they're saying that, Carl, you are so brave. You are speaking your mind. You're willing to say it. And the thing is this, we all want to say it. And I just want people to know, there are many what we call the silent majority. We want to make sure that we all want to keep everyone safe, especially many people are seniors. They don't feel safe, not only in Chinatown, or seniors are afraid to walk on their own streets. Many people calling me from East Oakland, West Oakland, up in the hill, flatland, no matter they're in downtown Oakland, Jack London Square, Uptown, Koreatown, Little Saigon, Fruitwood District, all communities. They want to make sure that they can walk their street freely and feel safe. And actually, the people holding the cameras, the reporters here, and guess what? We are also the target. We are not safe as well. So what we are hoping for is to send this letter to our Governor Newsom. We want you to help us, in addition to what we have, to send the California Highway Patrol to our city. I'm not only talking about Chinatown, I want you to send the CHP helping us for the entire city. The communities that they will need you. And that is our main message. So with that said, I know that Larry Rick was supposed to be here. I know that we are not asking people if they don't feel comfortable because of COVID-19. We understand that. So he will be also signing on to the letter. Are there any questions that you may have for any of us? Well, you know what? I think the question was that whether or not when they are seeing more police, and even including the California Highway Patrol, would they really do the work? And I think the answer would be this. Absolutely yes. Because I give a simple example. If let's say we do not have Oakland police officers patrolling Chinatown now, the incidents would not be only the one that you saw on Saturday. It would be 10, 20 incidents every single day. So would that help? Yes. In addition, the reason why we want to say this, because criminals, they know much better than many of us. When they're being chased, I noticed one thing. By the restriction, many of our police officers cannot do a high-speed chase. And then they may not cross another city. But guess what? Highway Patrol, they have the jurisdiction. And they can do that. And absolutely yes. In addition, we have the federal mandate. There are many things that many of our police officers in City of Oakland, their hands are tied. But the California Highway Patrol and others, mutual aids, they don't have that restriction. So they can actually even do more. By saying that, I still want to thank our Chief Armstrong and the police officers. They're trying their best to help us not only in Chinatown, but throughout the entire city. So with that said, would that help? The answer is yes, definitely it will help with more police officers, including the California Highway Patrol. Okay, so whether or not they can chase high-speed chase, well, let me say this. If we keep telling the criminals, we're not going to chase you, and guess what's going to happen? Exactly what happened, because they just get away. So the whole issue is this. Yes, are we allowing the criminals keep on attacking people without consequences? Well, I guess that's our choice. So I'm hoping that by doing so-called a chase or finding ways to capture all these criminals, there are many ways besides chasing high-speed chase. Okay, so I am sure that by getting more police officers on the streets, we can prevent many of these incidents might happen. So I think that's a good question, but yet we have choices. We don't want criminals just to get away that easy. So I think that's important.
For a question for Councilmember Taylor, are you also in support of having CHP officers take on the role of OPD on the street level here in Chinatown and the rest of it?
So I am here to support community members in expressing their voice for what they want and they need. I chose not to sign on to the letter because for me, any officers that come have to comply with our standards of policing, and that level of detail would need to be worked out in any relationship, anything that's negotiated. So I'm not ready to commit for CHP to come until we have that level of conversation, but I am here to support the call of the community for the response and the support that they need.
So is there any part of Mr. Chan's letter that you do support, like including a state of emergency call?
I have not signed on to the letter yet, but I am supportive of addressing the need that community members have come together to call for. There is fear, there is pain that needs to be addressed, and we need to bring about healing through a multi-pronged approach. Officers are one of many parts of the solution to keep our community safe.
And this is a question for you, Carl. Since Councilmember Taylor just said he's not quite there as far as signing your letter to the governor, is there any other city official, the mayor, any other big leader that you would like to sign on to that letter to support him?
So I think it's a quick question. So I understand, each city, they have their own limitation, what they can and cannot do. And that's the reason why citizens have to come out and voice and letting our city leadership, they have to understand what we want, what we need. Their priority may not necessarily to be our priority. But remember, the city leaders, they're working for us. So one thing that we can do, not only to communicating with our leadership, we have to push for it. And the reason why our council member Ron Taylor is here, I know he understands, and I know many council members they said they understand. But it's not about understanding; it's about what you are going to do. So come back to the question: am I going to ask for any other help? Absolutely. So we'll be asking for all the help that we can get. We will make changes. I want people to understand how to make changes. The only way to make changes are the people, the citizens. We come in, purchasers, to become voters. Our voices got to be heard. So for the next couple of years, not only we're pushing for this public safety, we're also pushing people, making sure that you will vote. And vote for those who are having your voice, who understand the needs. Again, I'm also calling on the silent majority. It's time for us to speak out. It's time for us to make changes because enough is enough.
If I may, I did want to address the state of emergency, and I did want to say that that parallels the work within the African American community, calling on the Alameda County to declare a public health state of emergency with respect to the gun violence that's happening on our streets. So this same call is happening in many different communities here in Oakland for really acknowledging the severity of what we are facing with respect to gun violence and violent crime.
Thank you, Lord. I just want people to understand there are many council members. I'm so glad Lauren is here, because many council members will say, I got an answer to my constituent in my district. They forgot one thing. You are governing, you are serving the entire city. If you could only serve your own district, you should not be serving. You should be serving the entire city for the entire citizens. If you are just saying that you are not my constituent, then you are not my council member. That's it. Oh, I want to emphasize one more thing about the security system. Jessica, I want you to share more of what we are doing, what we are planning of doing.
Hi everybody, my name is Jessica Chen. I'm the Executive Director of Oakland Chinatown Chamber of Commerce. I'd like to let you know we've been collecting the donation more than $25,000, but this is an ongoing project. So if anyone who wants to help Oakland Chinatown, please donate to us, Oakland Chinatown Chamber Foundation. And also, we would like to ask our property owners, our business owners to step forward. We would like to create a list to have all the current camera list with our chamber. And we also ask any property owners, business owners, if you want to install camera outside your business, outside your building, please contact our office and we will find the funding and help you to install cameras and lights. Thank you very much.
But it's also important to acknowledge our board members, because including myself, all the board members, we don't get paid. It's a volunteer work. And we work tirelessly for the last many years, especially last year and this year. And we are focusing so much our own time, our resources. In fact, we need to borrow money to run our chamber, just making sure that we keep up the pace. But most importantly, it's not about only money. It's about what we want to do. So I want to say one last thing. Together, we can make positive changes. And guess what? It's time to do it now. Thank you. Oh, once again, I really want to acknowledge many of our volunteers. They also spending time risking their lives. And even the youngest is 14-year-old joining us. We got seniors. We also have people been robbed for 3 times and still not willing to become victims and saying that enough is enough. They want to be part of the solution. So with that, let's give a big hand to all of our volunteers and the Blue Angels. Any Blue Angels would like to talk about? You want to talk? Okay, I really appreciate if any one of you want to talk to any one of us, please feel free to do an interview, or you can always call us. Oh, I also see Mr. John Wong, also donating $2,000 toward, the young man, we call him the China Hero. So thank you, Mr. Wong. Anything else? Okay, so they have a slogan you want to call. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Stop Asian hate crime. Stop Asian hate crime. 停止暴力。停止暴力。嚴懲兇手。嚴懲兇手。停止暴力。停止暴力。嚴懲兇手。嚴懲兇手。Stop Asian hate crime. Stop Asian hate crime. Stop Asian hate crime.
Okay. The polling just spoken. Thank you.